So in this section we will see when can semi-supervised learning work. So generally that question arises in our mind because semi-supervised is the in between, or it is the some part of supervised and some part of unsupervised combination. So when it can be used. So actually in supervised algorithm it uses only labeled data, and in unsupervised we are using unlabeled data. So we can what is our aim, that we want to predict the unlabeled points as well. That means whenever we are having labeled data, our prediction is the target, and when we are having the unlabeled data, our main aim increases because the target should be accurate and approximate. So we have to carry the information which is useful in the inference as well. So there are some ways, or we can say some assumptions, where we can use the semi-supervised learning. So the first one is continuity assumption. So points which are close to each other are more likely to share a label. Generally in supervised learning, it is assumed that the particular preferences are according to decision boundaries, and that decision boundaries are geometrically intact with each other. So, in the case of semi-supervised learning, the smoothness assumption yields the preference for decision boundaries in low density regions, so that there are fewer points close to each other but in different classes. So in supervised learning the simple decision boundaries are there, but when we are talking about semi-supervised learning, so we are having the smoothness assumption, and how that is working, that we are preferring the low density boundaries, low density regions, because they are giving us the decision boundaries, and from there we are choosing the points that are close to each other, but that point should be from different classes. Then the semi-supervised smoothness assumption. So if two points, that is x1 and x2, in a high density region are close, then it should be the corresponding outputs, that is y1 and y2. Means when we are talking about supervised case, so according to the prior beliefs, the output varies smoothly with the distance. How the output is varying? According to the distance it is varying, and we know that we have to consider the density of inputs as well. So the assumption is that the label function is more smoother in high density regions rather than the low density regions. So the assumption implies if two points are linked by a path of high density, means we can say that the point belongs to the same cluster, then their outputs are close. While we are separating them by the low density region, then their outputs need not to be closed. So in this way the semi-supervised smoothness assumption is there. Then the third one is the clustering assumption. If points are in the same cluster, they are likely to be of the same class. So suppose we knew that the points of each class are in such a way that they are forming the cluster, then the unlabeled data is finding the boundary of each cluster more accurately. So one could run the clustering algorithm and use the label points so that we can assign the class to each cluster. So we can do all these things in the semi-supervised learning, where the points are of the same cluster and they should be of the same class as well. Then the manifold assumption. So the high dimensional data lie on low dimensional manifold. So this is a different but related assumption form. So suppose we are having statistical methods and learning algorithms, and they are related in such a way that we want to grow them exponentially with the various number of dimensions, and growing the number of examples as the reliable estimation of densities are required. So what we have to do, this is the problem of high dimension, and we have to serve the discriminative methods, that is pairwise distance we have to calculate. So at that time the semi-supervised smoothness assumption is used. So algorithm is using the metric of the manifold for computing the distance, and if we can view the manifold as an approximation of the high density region, then it becomes very clear that the semi-supervised smoothness assumption reduces the standard smoothness assumption of supervised learning. So in practical, the high dimensional data are generated by the same process, and we can explore and grow the number of dimensions by the manifold assumption. Then comes the transduction. So some algorithms generally works in transductive setting. So when trying to solve some problem, one should not solve more difficult problem as an intermediate step. So consider the example of supervised learning. So as I am telling, it is supervised learning. The predictions of labels are according to the objects. So the models estimate the density, which estimate the labels. So in transductive, what we are doing, in transductive, we are generating the models and estimating the density, and it produces the solution which is very superior to the inductive algorithm, and then we can have the labeled data. Now the performance can be different. So the transductive learning takes the advantage of unlabeled data in a way similar to semi-supervised learning algorithm. So that generally takes the empirical results as the first point. So transduction is basically improving the particular points, and they are training the labeled data as well as doing the prediction for the unlabeled data by taking the advantage of semi-supervised learning algorithm. So these are the ways, or these are the assumptions that are used for semi-supervised learning. Now in our next section we will see what is active learning. Thank you.